Tonight, Friday Night SmackDown once again airs in the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, inside the WWE Thunderdome. And tonight we've got a segment that's been announced for SmackDown whereby the Universal Champion, Roman Reigns, after his victory over his cousin Jey Uso this past Sunday at Clash of Champions, will be officially crowned as the Tribal Chief. Now, what does that mean? I don't know. I'll be totally honest, I don't know. Obviously, their match this past Sunday, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, it was fantastic. Now, if you listen to the preview that I did earlier on today about the Sami Zayn versus Jeff Hardy Intercontinental Championship match that will be happening tonight on SmackDown 2, then you will know that I thought that the Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso match was the match of the show, Clash of Champions. It absolutely was. Now, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of a pure match, the triple threat ladder match between Jeff Hardy, Sami Zayn, and AJ Styles was better. It was a better match. However, the Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso match Sunday at Clash of Champions was just... It's got to be up there with one of the better pay-per-view main events in recent history. I'd probably say it was the best pay-per-view main event of 2020, which puts it in some very revered company, considering that AJ Styles versus The Undertaker in the Boneyard match at WrestleMania 36 Night 1 was the main event of Night 1, and that was the end, we think, of The Undertaker's career, and it was absolutely brilliant. I just think, in terms of a story, in terms of acting, in terms of facial reactions, uncomfortableness, discomfort, I guess you would call that, just all of it, I thought Roman Reigns and Jey Uso just absolutely stole the show at Clash of Champions. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. Now, if you didn't see Clash of Champions, go out your way to see the main event. It was really, really good. As I mentioned, the match itself, the moves and all of that kind of stuff, largely forgetful because I can't really remember any big spots, shall we say, from that match. But what I can remember is the drama. And that was the point. And I spoke about this before on the channel, that this match between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns at Clash of Champions, this feud, is all about the next step of Roman Reigns' heel turn. That's exactly what it is. A lot of people thought after Roman Reigns won the Universal Championship at Payback, which I think everyone saw coming, everyone thought, okay, he is a heel, and you can tell that he is a heel, but he's not fully there yet. He's not right onto what everyone would call as a full-blown heel. He just wasn't. So where does that go with Roman Reigns? Well, this is the perfect feud for it. How do you fully become from that babyface to that heel? What's that transition feud that is the key to becoming a heel? It's Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, and that's exactly what it was. If you were within any doubts at all about Roman Reigns, is he a heel, isn't he a heel, what's his status in the company right now, what character is he playing, it was very evident at the weekend at Clash of Champions as to which Roman Reigns we're seeing at the moment, and that was a full-blown heel. I mean, it was uncomfortable. It reminded me a lot of a Brock Lesnar match. Now, I know the comparisons are going to be there about Roman Reigns being with Paul Heyman, and then immediately he starts getting compared to Brock Lesnar, but that's exactly what it was like. It really was like a Brock Lesnar match, the way that it was laid out. You had Roman Reigns dominating for the majority of it, and then what you had is you had Jey Uso fight back, and he fought back a couple of times when it looked close, and you even maybe bought in for a split second that he might actually beat Roman Reigns, but then towards the end of the match, Reigns was just too much for him and just dominated him, and he wouldn't allow the referee to count the 3 count. He wouldn't put him in a submission because he didn't want to finish the match until Jey Uso officially called him the Tribal Chief. He said, "You'll call me the Tribal Chief," and Jey Uso refused to do it. And then in the end, it took Jey's twin brother, Jimmy Uso, who is currently out of action with an injury. He's not going to be coming back anytime soon. I think the timetable for his return is something like January or something like that. So I don't think Jimmy Uso is going to be coming back in terms of working a match anytime soon. He still might be involved in this feud going forward. He can still cut promos and he can still interact with Roman Reigns and all of that kind of nature, but he isn't going to be back anytime soon. So Jimmy Uso comes down to the ring and throws the towel into the ring, forfeiting the match for his brother, and afterwards goes and consoles his brother and says to Reigns, "You're the Tribal Chief, is that what you want? Is that really what you want? Leave him alone." And Reigns came across as this overbearing bully, and I thought it was brilliant. And then you had Paul Heyman come over to him and put the sort of neck, the floral neck, I don't know what you would call it, the floral necklace around Roman Reigns, and that was the end of the show. And Roman Reigns was this different character. He had a different look. He came out on the pay-per-view without his vest. He was shirtless, and this is a new Roman Reigns. If you haven't got it by now and you don't like it, get on board, because it's what's going to happen. Roman Reigns is a heel. He's got a new look, new music. I'm sure will be coming soon. And I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. As I mentioned, it really, really was the best thing of Clash of Champions at the weekend. And I thought Clash of Champions was actually a really, really strong pay-per-view. It had numerous great matches on it, and this really was the best. I thought this was the best part of it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. So after defending his Universal Championship this past Sunday and being called the Tribal Chief by Jey Uso, Reigns will now officially be crowned as the Tribal Chief in a ceremony presided over by Paul Heyman on SmackDown tonight. The recognition comes on the heels of the Big Dog's victory over his cousin Jey Uso at Clash of Champions. So I guess the question is where do they go from here? Support for WrestleNews 365 is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Now, Manscaped, for all of my UK fans out there, Manscaped just launched in the UK. Over here in the United Kingdom, we have gone for years and years and years without using the right tools for the job. But now you can be one of the first men in England to experience their life-changing product. But it's not just limited to all of the great fans over here in the UK. This offer goes worldwide, so all of my friends over in America and around the world that are listening to this offer still does apply for you. You can still use our code. But I've got to tell you a quick story first. Now, there have been so many times, right? I'm a guy. You gotta groom down there, fellas, right? That's the most important thing. You gotta keep yourself trimmed. You gotta keep yourself proper. And a lot of the time, I've been guilty of this, of using the wrong tools for the job. I've had incidences, I'm not afraid to say it, where things have been nicked, snagged, or in fact cut down there because I wasn't being careful enough and using the right equipment. Now that just shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. You don't want to be worrying about cutting yourself down there. Do you know how painful that is? I can tell you, it hurts quite a lot. And I wish and hope to God it never happens to me again, and it won't happen to me ever again because I'm using Manscaped products. That's why Manscaped has redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team has perfected the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. Big statement, but it's absolutely true. They have just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0 in the UK. It's also available around the world as well. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. So those cuts and snags that I was telling you about before are a thing of the past. And let me tell you, when I tell you this is premium, I mean premium. The battery will last up to 90 minutes so you can get a longer, perfect shave. And not only that, you don't want to be cutting yourself and trimming yourself all over the bathroom, getting hair all over the place. That's just disgusting. The lawnmower has a waterproof technology that allows you to groom in the shower, so no more mess. And one of the coolest features, one of my favorite features about the lawnmower is the LED light which illuminates grooming areas for a closer and more precise trimming experience. So you can shave longer, you can shave more precisely, and you can shave in the shower. What more did I need to tell you? They've also upgraded to a 7,000 RPM motor with quiet stroke technology, and let's not forget about the charging stand. You can show off your mower loud and proud because this intelligently designed stand is a convenient charging dock powered by USB. So, if you are listening to me speak right now, I want you to experience it firsthand for yourself. Let's get that bush to tush clean, and you can get 20% off and free shipping. Yeah, you heard me right there. 20% off and free shipping. All you have to do is use the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. Make your testes their besties. That's 20% off and free shipping. Not only are you getting 20% off, you're getting free shipping as well with the code 365wrestle at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code 365wrestle. Your balls will thank you. This is obviously, a lot of the time with these ceremonies, they're ripe for being interrupted. Who are they going to be? Who's it going to be interrupted by tonight? Is it going to be Jey Uso? Maybe. I think he might be selling the attack. Maybe it'll be Jimmy Uso. Heck, who knows? Maybe they might even bring back, I don't know, Rikishi, just to get in the face of Roman Reigns, and maybe get in the face of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman used to be his manager back in WCW. Maybe they would bring Rikishi in as well. I think he will be interrupted by someone. As to who it will be, I don't know. What I will say is I think that initially this feud between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, as I mentioned, was just meant to be a transition feud for Roman Reigns of, okay, how do we get him to the next level of being a heel? He's come back with a different attitude. How do we cement this heel turn? We have him facing his cousin and absolutely destroying his cousin. And it's absolutely worked to that extent. But I think they were thinking, okay, then he can move on to facing... he can go on to facing The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, or someone else. But I think plans may have changed here. I really do. I think this feud they've just struck gold. They've absolutely struck gold. I think the storytelling was brilliant. There's more there to the feud. I absolutely think there's more there, and there's more story that they can tell. What is that story right now? I don't know. They can always try and tell the story of Jey Uso continuing to fight back. I'm not sure that I want to see the rematch, if that makes sense, because I feel like the drama was there that I don't want to see an immediate rematch. I would like to see Roman Reigns face someone else, but I'd also like to see this family dynamic stay. So again, how do they do that? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I still think an ultimate endgame to this would be facing The Rock at WrestleMania. It just feels like that. If they're going with this family-orientated storyline of I'm the tribal chief, I provide for the family, it makes the most sense in the world to go up against the ultimate family member in The Rock, right? I don't think The Rock's going to interrupt him anytime soon. There's been lots of discussion about how The Rock could fit into this storyline, but also whenever you think about The Rock making WWE appearances, especially now in terms of matches, there has to be a considerable amount of time that has to be put into that, and finding time in The Rock's schedule is very, very difficult at the best of times, let alone during a pandemic. He's not only an actor now. This is what people almost forget about The Rock. He's not just an actor in these giant Hollywood projects. He's also a producer. He's just bought the XFL. The XFL is going to be starting their season in 2022. So he's going to be busy with that. He's going to be hands-on with that. As I mentioned, he has his own production company. He has a lot of things. So it's very difficult to get him tied down to making a couple of appearances and then having the match. Plus, in terms of the insurance deals, that was the issue before, right? He was scheduled to be filming Hercules, and then he got injured during the WrestleMania main event against John Cena in 2013. That kind of soured him a little bit on coming back for these matches, because at the time he was pretty infrequently coming back for matches. He'd kind of fallen back in love with wrestling again, having the matches. He was scheduled to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. Some people have said that isn't the case, but it absolutely was. They were going to shoot the angle the following night on Raw, but The Rock had to go and get surgery. So he kind of, since then, he hasn't had the match. Since he had the match against John Cena at 2013, he hasn't had a match. I know people will say Eric Rowan at WrestleMania 32, but come on, you know what I mean. So will he come back? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, it would be just like The Rock to want to try and do something during this pandemic, uplift people. He's always about making the biggest impact possible. And how do you do that? You know, you have a WrestleMania main event coming out of a pandemic. I don't think we'll be out of the pandemic by then, but you get my point. So I absolutely do think that could be the end goal here. It's just a case of whether they can make that work. And regardless of that, that's a way away now. Roman Reigns is absolutely killing it. He really is. And it just makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where was this Roman Reigns the whole time? Because Roman Reigns wanted to be this guy. Roman Reigns wanted to do this character. This is real. This is the real Roman Reigns. And obviously the heel tactics aren't Roman Reigns, but this is closer to Joe, right? This is closer to Joe, and that's why it's so good. I've mentioned this a million times. Every time you see an interview or you see a behind-the-scenes documentary or whatever, every time you see anything like that with Roman Reigns, you come out of it and go, man, Roman Reigns is a cool dude. He's super likable and super chill, and you wanna cheer for the guy, and you think that guy's a badass. And then over the years, the creative he was given, the verbiage he was given, the storylines he was given, made him really, really unlikable. Realistically, if you wanted Roman Reigns to be a heel, continue him just giving them those terrible storylines as a babyface, because that will turn you heel. Whereas this current Roman Reigns, this badass actual in storyline heel Roman Reigns, is cool. He's likable. He's the best thing probably in WWE right now. I mean, I know I said about Randy Orton. If you had this version of Roman Reigns going up against that version of Randy Orton, how badass would that be? Or this version of Roman Reigns going against Drew McIntyre down the line. This version of Roman Reigns is money. It's money, and he is cool as all house. So I'm really excited about this version of Roman Reigns. I'm excited about this storyline because I don't think it's over yet. I do think eventually we're going to get to Roman Reigns versus The Fiend. It's inevitable. I think he'll be in people's minds in WWE. Can we get to Roman Reigns versus The Rock? That is up in the air, I would say, but it's not impossible. It absolutely isn't impossible. So, as I mentioned, for this segment tonight, I'm sure it'll be interesting. I'm sure we'll get great promos by Heyman and Reigns because we always do, and we have so far. I don't think it's going to go completely smoothly. I think we're going to get some form of interruption. As to who interrupts him, I just don't know. It could be anyone. Could be a member of the family, or just could be maybe even The Fiend himself or Bray Wyatt. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, as always, this is just one man's opinion. So what are your thoughts on the Tribal Chief ceremony tonight on SmackDown? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be sure to respond and reply to all of your comments. Really enjoy interacting with you guys on this channel. If you have enjoyed this video, please do smash a like on the like button as well. Really does help us out here on YouTube, go up the rankings, and get into people's recommendation feeds if they haven't seen our videos previously. But most importantly, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to Wrestle News 365. You can do that by clicking the bottom right-hand corner of the screen right now. Or if you wait a few seconds, there'll be a subscribe button at the end of this video, along with another video for you to watch. Thank you very much for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. And I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.